Kick-ass facts, pew pew pew! Why do we say the things we do? Caught red-handed. To be caught in the act of doing something wrong. This dates back to Scotland, 1432, and the term refers to an Old English law that sought the punishment of any person who butchered an animal that was not his own animal. However, to be convicted, you had to be caught with the animal's blood still on your hands. Cat got your tongue, which refers to a person who's at a loss for words, and there are two possible sources for this one. The first refers to the use of a whip called a cat o' nine tails. Used by the English Navy, victims were left speechless from the pain inflicted upon them after a flogging. I know what kind of cat o' nine tails you were thinking about. Naughty. The second comes from medieval times. Liars and blasphemers were punished by having their tongues cut out and then fed to the cats. In ancient Egypt, cats were considered gods, and it was seen as an offering to the gods to give them the tongue of a liar. Bust one's balls, a slang term referring to working hard or being punished. That's not how I use it. This expression arose out of the painful method of castrating a bull. The common practice involved breaking a calf's testicles to turn them from a bull to a steer. The bee's knees, which refers to excellence or perfection. In 1920s America, there was a relatively short-lived trend which involved pairing an animal with a body part. The craze spawned a bunch of expressions, including elephant's adenoids, cat's meow, ant's pants, tiger spots, elephant's wrist, eel's ankles, and bullfrog's beards. Today, there are only three that are still popular: bee's knees, cat's pajamas, and dog's bollocks. Although I do say cat's meow. Let the cat out of the bag, which is to divulge a secret. First recorded in the 16th century, this phrase stems from shifty farmers at markets who committed fraud by substituting a cat for a piglet in a bag. If someone let the cat out of the bag, the deceit was uncovered. Burning ears, or are your ears burning, means someone's talking about you, and this one goes back to Roman times. It was believed that a tingling or burning sensation in the ears meant that a person was being spoken about. The ancient belief that the left hand signifies evil and the right for good means if your right ear was burning, then you're being praised, and if your left ear is burning, someone's talking shit. Take the piss, to mock or tease. One explanation comes from the canals in Britain. Before synthetic dyes were invented, urine was collected and used in the process of fixing dye to wool to create colors. Transporting urine to wool mills wasn't as lucrative as transporting wine, so when the boatmen were questioned what they were carrying, they would lie and say, "I'm taking wine." Anyone suspecting otherwise might ask if you're taking the piss. Up to scratch, meaning to be acceptable. In the early days of boxing, there was no bell to signal the beginning of a round. Instead, the referee would scratch a line on the ground between fighters, and the round began when both men stepped over it. A contestant who had been knocked down had to demonstrate that he was fit to continue by walking up to the scratch. If the boxer wasn't able to, he was considered unfit to continue the fight, not up to scratch. The fight was then awarded to the opponent. Eat humble pie, which means to admit you were wrong or to apologize. In the 14th century, during a post-hunt feast, the lord of the manor would eat the finest cuts of meat. The numbles was the name given to the heart, liver, and entrails of the animals. By the 15th century, this was shortened to umbles. It was common practice for people of lower stature to be humiliated when serving the umbles baked into a pie, thus the term to eat humble pie.